During all this summer, we have been preparing the logs to start the construction of our cabin next year. We have prepared 40 trees so far. We are going to need 60 in total. We have registered and sealed them to keep the same drying rate between the ends and the length of each tree. We use a wax-based log sealer. After the first year, they should lose the 30% of their weight, so it's going to be easier to manipulate them. On the other hand, shrinking will not be an issue because we intend to use the Scandinavian scribe-fitted technique to build our cabin. This technique allows the trees to settle gradually. In a dense forest like the Canadian Boreal forest, the impact that we might have is null, especially because we choose the bigger spruce trees who have almost completed their vital cycle. Because of their shallow roots, they are more fragile than the smaller ones when it comes to the effect of windstorms. Actually, we have found too many big trees fallen down but not suitable for building because they are already rotten. August is the month of wildberries. The southeast hills of the lake are covered with them. We went again foraging for wild blueberries and raspberries. They are just abundant. Someone was watching us silently. Two innocuous snakes, evaluating the danger that we may represent for them. Luckily, there are no poisonous snakes in this region. So we went on, trying not to bother them. At sunset time, we had gathered enough wildberries to make enough jam for the fall winter. This is a typical clear sunny summer day's sunset. No clouds at all. We are already nostalgic of this beautiful and generous summer spent in the woods.
The next day was going to be hard work and we needed a good breakfast. Our pancake recipe includes whole wheat and rye flour and flax, maca, and chia powder. This very nutritive breakfast is a must for our outdoor living style. The tea we drink comes directly from our forest. We either drink Labrador tea, creeping snowberry tea, or spruce infusion. Apart from peanut butter, we use sesame butter rich in calcium. We also like to complement our wild berries with another product from the Canadian forest, maple syrup. To cut the 60 trees we will need to build our cabin, we choose to use only hand tools. There are several reasons for this. First, we don't like the noise and the smell of the chainsaw. It doesn't fit the spirit of our project. Second, it is for security reasons. Chainsaw injuries are the nastiest ones you can have in the forest far from any help. And finally, since we transport everything by canoe, We cannot afford the excess weight of the fuel for the chainsaw. We note the length and bottom tip diameter of each tree. This is essential to be able to plan ahead for log selection later for the construction. But choosing to cut our trees by hand comes at the expense of a great physical effort. During a typical day, we are able to cut and prepare up to 5 trees. This does not include debarking and transportation to our building site. Since we will transport them by hand over a distance of 200 meters, we choose to let them dry on their felling site. Our typical tree has 20 feet long and 8 inches and a quarter in diameter. We use the small saw to make the straight front cut, the axe to make the front oblique cut, and then the small saw again to make the back cut. But despite getting better every day at felling trees by hand, sometimes we just don't want to fall down. When this happens, we cannot fully measure the tree, and we can just hope that the wind will give us a hand the following days. But we need to keep moving, learn from our mistakes, and go on to the next tree. And boy, does it feel good when we fell the next one with success. Preparing the trees includes removing all the branches, big or small, to allow them to dry faster. All in all, this is a big project for us, but the context redefines us, and we feel so small surrounded by this infinite forest. When we cut a tree, we are grateful for the generosity of Mother Nature, and we think that she, herself, brings down many more trees annually than we will ever be able to tell ourselves. See how small is our presence in that boreal forest. And although some people come for fishing during the weekends, no one lives at less than 150 kilometers around us. After a whole morning working at cutting trees, we enjoy bathing and meditating in the water under the heat of the sun. Especially when they forecast rain later during the day. But when comes the rain, we rush into the tent to cook jam. But we learned at our expense that one should never cook jam in a cast iron pot. It releases too much iron because of the long cooking time. Our delicious raspberry jam turned into a blackish soup that stained our teeth. We had to throw it away. So we started over again with blueberries in a steel pot. And it turned out to be delicious. We sterilized the jars, filled them with the boiling jam, and sealed them to preserve the jam. So we went to bed that night, totally worn out, but very proud of the trees we cut and the jam we made.